Today we are continuing our look at data visualization in Cavalry with pie charts. Thanks for joining me, now let's eat pie. I'm using Google Sheets just like before. If you need a refresher on that, check out the first video in this series. Pull in 2 of those again, and rename them as something descriptive. I'll click on the arc shape and style it however you want, and make sure to set the starting angle to 0. We're going to need to remap the data on this one, but we also need to know the sum of all of our values to make sure that it fits inside of a circle nicely. In my case, it's 256, as shown here with the sum function. Back in Cavalry, let's add a Spreadsheet Lookup layer. In this layer, we can select our lookup column and say what key to look for. In this case, total. And we also want to set the value column to total 1. Setting it up this way keeps things dynamic so that the client can add or remove rows and it won't break the rig. In our datasheet, click on Remapping, set that to number range, and connect the output of the spreadsheet lookup into the source maximum attribute. Next, we need to set the maximum attribute to 360 since it's a circle. Now connect the output of the sheet data into the end angle of the arc shape. And then put your arc shape into a group. With the arc group selected, alt-click on the duplicator and set the distribution to point. For the count, we can pull in the row count from our data sheet. It's important that we make sure to format our Google Sheet so the totals information doesn't add rows to the bottom. That's why I've got it to the side. To make the arcs line up nicely, add an accumulator, connect the end angle of the arc shapes into the value attribute, and connect the output of the accumulator into the shape rotation of the duplicator. Adding dynamic titles to the setup is a bit complicated, but just stick with me here and we'll get through this together. Turn off the duplicator and turn on the arcs group so we can see things better. First up, let's create a null in the center of the comp, inside of the arcs folder. Connect the arc shape's end angle to its rotation attribute, and add an expression to that to divide the value by 2. This will make the null point towards the center of the arc regardless of the value. Next, create a polygon shape and rename it arrow. Set the size to 3, radius to 35, connect the color array, add an align deformer with Y set to 1, and a bevel deformer set to whatever you think looks nice. Make that a child of the null, and then clear out the rotational value that just appeared there so that it lines up with where the null is facing. Push it up on the Y value until it's at the spot that you want. Now this element is optional, and you can style it however you want, of course. Now here's where it starts to get complicated. But first, if you find this content useful, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Create a text layer, and make it a child of the arrow, and clear out any rotational values that pop in. Connect the color array and style it however you want. Center the horizontal and vertical alignment. I've also pushed mine up about 80 on the Y position. Now to make this truly dynamic, we want the text bounds to stay consistent regardless of what text is put into it. Let's uncheck the auto setting on the width and height of the text box size, and check shrink to fit text box. Next, set the font size to be way bigger than you'd ever need it to be, and then start to adjust the text box size to fit the largest word that you have in your data. Once that's adjusted, you can connect the name sheet to the string attribute, and if you turn back on the duplicator, you'll see that the rotations are all over the place. So to fix that, we need to create a JS math layer with 2 input values. One will be the null's rotational value, and the other is the output of the accumulator. For the equation, we want 360 minus n0 minus n1. Then connect that into the text layer's rotation attribute. This will make sure that the text stays upright no matter where it's positioned on the ring. Next, we need to make the text alignment dynamic so that it doesn't crash into the graph. Add an align deformer to the text and create 2 number range layers, as well as a math layer. Make sure to rename things so that you don't get confused, and connect the Y number range to the Y align, and the X number range to the X align. For both number ranges, we want the source minimum and maximum to be 0 and 360, and the output minimum and maximum should be -1 and +1. The math layer that we just created is for the relative text angle. We are going to add the accumulator output and the null rotation together, and then connect that result to the value attribute of both number ranges. Now this is pretty close, but it's not yet exactly what we want. We need to adjust the number range graphs to make it look nicer. For the X-align number range graph, we want it to look like an intense S. And on the Y, we want it to look like a vase shape with straight walls. These will now dynamically change the text alignment depending on where it is on the ring, so it'll always look nice. You can also adjust the text layer's Y position if needed. We can also test changing the data on the sheet, and then right-click and reloading to see if our graph updates properly. Regardless of the numbers on the sheet, they should fit proportionally into the ring and all the text should update. And if we add a new row, it should dynamically resize everything as well. Now to animate it, it's the same process as the bar charts that we did last time. You can go ahead and hide the duplicator and unhide the arcs folder, and then animate things as you see fit. Here's how I have done mine. Same as with the bar charts, I put a value blend in between the data sheet and the arc's end angle attribute for the main animation, and then just have the arrow pop in and the text fade in. In the next video, we'll animate the data over time.